You're listening to Northwoods Church Matters, a podcast of Northwoods Church in Evansville, Indiana, where we discuss why the local church matters and things that matter to the local church. I'm your host, Matt Higgins. Hey, well, welcome back to the Northwoods Church Matters podcast. It's been 1 year of the Northwoods Church Matters podcast. Is that worth celebrating?
Woo-hoo!
Yeah, that was really enthusiastic. So what we thought that we'd do in honor of our 1 year celebration, we kind of kicked off with a Christmas episode where we got to know the pastors. And so we're going to spend some time getting to know the pastors even better today, plus Rachel Bland, who is with us as well. So we're excited about this. So let's start off with first question. What type of Christmas shopper are you? Are you a Christmas Eve shopper, Black Friday, or year-long hoarder? And I know that this question somewhat depends on your spouses, so you can take that into account. So Bobby?
None of the above.
None of the above.
Yeah, so I would say that sometimes we'll go out on Black Friday, but I would generally, between Black Friday and Christmas Eve, buy what I need to buy. And I don't have to buy much. I still have to buy one gift right now. But no, I between Black Friday and Christmas Eve will buy what I need to buy. I have gone out on Black Friday, though, because I found deals.
Darren?
I'm not a year-long hoarder, but I'm a year-long lister. Like, I keep a list on my phone whenever I'm talking to people. And if I overhear them say, I really want this, I'll add it to my phone. But I only buy it after Thanksgiving.
That is impressive.
My husband does the same thing.
Yeah, no way. Marvin?
Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Wow.
Christmas Eve, hopefully a couple of days before that, but usually it's like, oh man, it's tomorrow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. It sneaks up on you every year.
Every stinking year.
It's the same day every year.
If they would pick a date, and every year would be that date.
It's a shame it's just like Easter and it changes every year. All right, Ms. Bland.
Hey, for me, I'm more of if I see a deal, even if it happens all year round, I'm going to pick that deal up. And the unfortunate part about that is that, the good deals usually happen at Black Friday. So I do a lot of year-round collecting of little things because I don't want to store it for 365 days. But come Black Friday, I'm pretty much done.
Yeah, I don't know what I am, but I'm definitely not a year-long hoarder. I definitely am not that category of person, probably somewhere between Black Friday and Christmas Eve. But I hate going out on Christmas Eve. Did any of y'all like going out on Christmas Eve?
Oh, no. I've been running to the door and seeing the sign going, closed at 2. And I'm going, no, it's 5 till 2.
You get everything at the CVS.
The dollar store.
It's a gift card for you at the gift card station. My Christmas presents are already wrapped, too. So I'm ready to go.
Oh, no.
Right.
Wow. I remember one Christmas as a kid where we went over to my aunt and uncle's house and they didn't have time to wrap presents. And so the local supermarket was U-Crops. And so all of our gifts were in U-Crops brown bags and just taped shut. So that was a memorable Christmas for me. All right, next question. What Christmas food could you eat till you puke?
Yeah, and for me, I would say that I don't eat anything till I puke. Amy does a sweet potato, thing that I enjoy a lot. And I enjoy her macaroni and cheese too much. But those two things are probably the things that I enjoy too much.
Same for me. I'm not sure that you should eat anything till you puke.
Yeah,
but I know this is really controversial, but no marshmallows on mine. So
I agree.
Brown sugar.
I agree.
I don't like sweet potatoes at all.
I agree with you completely.
Brown sugar and pecans.
100%.
Make me puke by just thinking about that.
100%.
No way. Marvin?
You don't understand, but the sweet potatoes, it's more of a dessert.
That's right.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's right.
If it's done right.
Yeah, I would say
Cut me
the
out.
sweet potatoes.
My mom makes these things called beignets. It's like a French recipe or whatever. And we only get them on Christmas because that's how hard it is to make. And so I have not eaten them until I puke, but I've eaten them until I'm so full that my stomach hurts because they're so good.
I'm on the sweet potato casserole train.
What?
Wow.
Yes.
How about that?
pretty unanimous.
Wow. Evidently, the next Christmas party we have, which will be in 2028, we will make sure we have sweet potato casserole at it.
At some point, I feel like there should be a competition, though. Like, you each bring in the one that you like the best, and then you taste it and figure out whose is the best.
I'm for it.
I'm for that. Yeah. Sure. That'd be
See,
fun.
Linda fixes it also for Thanksgiving. And so because of COVID and losing your taste and all that, my taste was coming back. But Linda tries to make good dishes healthy sometimes. And so she'll substitute this or that. And so actually we were eating and I said, did you substitute anything? Because the sweet potatoes just don't taste the same. She goes, I did it just like I do all the time. And I said, okay, my taste isn't back.
All right. Were you or your family ever in a Christmas pageant? And then what is your favorite Christmas pageant memory?
Our church here did Christmas Comes to Detroit Louis. And I was Harry the Lift.
Harry the Lift?
Yeah. And Detroit Louis was Ty Hauer. I was Harry the Lift. That was a hilarious, unbiblical play.
Put on at a church.
Put on at our church.
Yeah.
But it was fun. It had a lot of comic to it. I mean, I get into plays when I'm in them. I literally, I had drool and spit coming out of my mouth. I mean, it was a very, Fred Harris was an old man in this play. I mean, it was just, we had a lot of fun with that.
When I think Ty Hauer, I think Detroit Louis.
I'm just telling you, he was very good.
Bobby is trying to sell that he had to get into character.
I pickpocketed a lot of people.
It's not a pageant, but I have a vivid memory of going to a Christmas Eve candlelight service with my family when we were younger. And we just gotten our candles lit, and there was a lady behind us in an Angora sweater. And so we're singing, Silent Night or whatever it is, and all of a sudden we hear behind us, Mama Kayla's on fire. And they start patting her out. And, so still, if me and my brother and sister are at a candlelight service, somebody will at some point whisper, Mama Kayla's on fire.
And now everybody's going to say that during our candlelight service. Yeah.
Don't wear Angora to the candlelight service is good advice.
Marvin?
Never really was in a Christmas pageant because we always did Easter pageants and Christmas. Here's a word that nobody thinks I know. We mainly did Christmas cantatas.
Ooh, fancy.
With choir and all that, but it wasn't a pageant.
Mm-hmm.
So
I am impressed you know that word.
Yes.
That's really good, Marvin.
That's what I was going to say. We didn't have a Christmas pageant, but we always had like a kids choir that was a part of the Christmas cantata as well. And so growing up, I remember being a part of the kids' Christmas cantata or the kids' portion of the Christmas cantata. I loved that because it's kind of like what you were saying, Bobby, about the fellowship and like just having a lot of fun. You have so much fun getting together as kids with each other, practicing singing songs in the choir rehearsal. And then you get to know the adults that were singing in the cantata too. And, being a little kid, we'd always make fun of people's expression and like how they would sing and all of that stuff. But then afterwards, they would do a big fellowship dinner for everyone after the cantata. And I miss those kind of days, when we could just gather around together. That was even pre-COVID. We stopped doing those kinds of things.
Sure.
I love that.
I don't know if y'all remember the 70s musical Celebrate Life that Lifeway put out. We used to do that every year. And one year I actually was in charge of putting it on at this one particular local church that shall not be named. But we had 2 showings of this. It was a dinner theater. And after the first night's performance, we got complaints. And the complaint is that there was this stupid, silly song about the 3 kings. And at some point in the song, the 3 kings do the can-can. We kind of lift up our robes and do the can-can, and I was part of that. And we had complaints about the obscenity of the song because the 3 kings were showing their legs. And so we had to revise the play for the second showing so that we didn't do the obscene can-can. We were wearing clothes underneath. All right, here's the lightning round. And, you can commentate on the lightning round. So, eggnog, tasty or terrible?
Terrible.
Terrible.
Nope, terrible.
Can tolerable be an option? Because I'm
Tolerable?
I'm okay with it, but I don't hate it. But I wouldn't choose it.
Yeah, I think it's wonderful. It's like
Terrible.
great.
terrible.
Oh, it's the best.
They have an
I love
eggnog
it.
latte at Starbucks.
Hey, Matt, move on.
Okay. No.
Pumpkin spice eggnog.
Oh,
Yeah,
pumpkin
there you
spice. Combine all of the holiday faux pas in one drink. Christmas tree, live or fake? We'll do one by one on this one.
It depends on the year.
Okay.
Live for us.
Yeah.
Live.
Fake.
Fake, for sure. Pre-lit. I saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus, classic or creepy?
So it was classic till you asked the question, and then it became creepy. I never really thought about it, and then I saw, well, maybe it is creepy. So yeah, it was classic, and it became creepy.
Yeah, I empathize with that kid because he sees his mom kissing Santa Claus. You know he won't tell on Santa Claus because then he won't get presents. So I feel for little Johnny.
These are so deep answers.
You think a lot, Darren.
You don't want to narc on
It's a
Santa.
problem. It is a problem.
Yeah.
Classic.
I said classic.
Just don't
too.
go too deep.
Yeah, it's classic. I'm with you.
Just keep it surface. It's a funny song.
It is a funny song, but in the side of my head, I'm thinking little Michael Jackson watching his mama kiss Santa Claus and the horror of it. Because that's the only version that's really good is that one by the Jackson 5. Yeah. All right, Baby It's Cold Outside, classic or creepy?
Creepy.
I don't know if I'm alone here. I think it's classic. I love that there's this conversation set to song, and there's versions out where they try to fix it, and he's actually trying to talk her into leaving, and I just think it's a great song. It's classic.
I think it's creepy. My parents are probably going to kill me for saying this, but I have very vivid images of my dad singing this in the car with my mom at Christmas time growing up. And he's like, baby, it's cold outside. And I think they ruined it for me. So from that point forward, I was like, this is so creepy. Please keep it far away from creepy.
This
Creepy.
moment is worth the whole podcast.
Sorry, mom and dad. Sorry.
Yeah. Wow. That illuminates. Okay. Yeah, it's creepy. It's definitely creepy. Creepy song. All right. Finish this thought. It wouldn't be Christmas without blank.
Family.
That's a deep answer. That's deeper than mine. Yeah.
Jesus.
That's the church answer.
I guess
It's a great answer, Darren.
I thought everybody would say Jesus, so I didn't want to be left out on that. But I thought about it from the standpoint of how many other things that we might put in there. Like we could say presents, the tree, family, eggnog.
No.
Because all those are accurate, but it's really about celebrating Jesus.
It's a good answer.
Yeah, well, thanks.
Yeah. It's almost like you went to Sunday school. I don't think anybody else needs to answer that question after Darren.
As the lead pastor of this church, I really wish I would have said Jesus.
Darren's so spiritual.
I would say family. My kids.
Okay, well, I thought all of those were like the understood answers.
Oh, just keep
So
going. Just keep
that's
going.
what I thought, but I put the Christmas beignets my mom makes.
I said eggnog, so I mean.
Oh, no.
Yeah. All right. What is the best Christmas gift that you ever gave someone?
Yeah, so I'll be honest, I don't know. I mean, I know I've given some decent gifts over the years. Honestly, this is like one of those questions I probably should have asked Amy. I know I've given her some okay stuff, but man, I can't think of a good one here. Sorry.
I couldn't think of a good one either, but I thought of how things have changed. Like when we were kids, I was trying to explain to my kids the other day, like the Sears catalog,
Yes.
where you sort of went through and circled everything, and then you waited till Christmas and you bought it. And now, like my kids, if they want something, they are on Amazon and they buy it and they have it in a couple of days. So things have really changed. And I think part of what we've tried to do lately, as opposed to saying, I got to get the great gift because everybody already has what they want typically, of like, what are the experiences that we can do together that will make a memory? So of, those are the kinds of things of like, I think of our family going skiing one year and being there together and that time skiing and that experience of being together. That to me, I think was as meaningful, more meaningful probably than anything I might have bought.
Way to go, Darren. You're just proving how spiritual you are.
That is not the case.
No, that's good.
Well, since I'd usually shopped on Christmas Eve, there was one year every gift I gave was awesome because Linda, she had already made a list out. She went to the store because one of the items was golf shoes. So she actually went to the store, got the SKU number and the size and everything. I went into the golf store. The salesperson, maybe, can I help you? I said, yeah, I need this pair of shoes. And I handed him the list. And he goes, your wife did that for you? I said, yep, on all these items. He goes, that would be great. So I just go into each store because she had on there what store it was at and the SKU item and what it was and if it was a size or whatever. And I just talked to the salesperson and said, this is what I need. And so every gift that year is what she wanted. Perfect year.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
100%.
She never did it again.
I texted my mom and asked her, like, what was the best gift I got her or something. And she said what Darren said, like the time being spent with her and all of that kind of stuff. I do remember, like, last year I got Alec an Apple Watch, which was just something that he was never going to buy himself. And so that was kind of cool. And I talked him out of it. Like, he was like, you're going to get it for me. And I was like, I can't afford that. Are you crazy? And so then when he opened it, he was really surprised. But a few years back, there was a quilt that my mom had in the closet and it wasn't finished. It was just like the actual fabrics all patched together or whatever. It was her grandmother's quilt. And so my dad was able to like sneak it out of the house and we got it quilted for her. And then on Christmas, she opened it up and it was like the finished product. And so that was pretty cool. So
that's awesome. You know, I think of time in a different way, that there was a point in time that Gwen was into Legos. And so whenever she got that as a gift, that was always a time where we did that together. And so that was a good experience for me to get to spend time with my kid because of the present. So praise God for Legos. Now all she wants is running stuff, which means that she doesn't want to spend time with us. She wants to leave the house and run somewhere. Yeah. That's the mode of life that we're in right now. She gets home and like, I'm going to go outside and not be with you anymore. All right. How do you focus on Christ at Christmas time?
You know, we make sure we read the Christmas story. When the kids were young, you know, one of the things that we did was we would celebrate with a Jesus birthday cake type deal and, you know, sort of a happy birthday, Jesus. And then it sort of grew out of that. Now we do the reading the Christmas story. We also watch most every year on Christmas Eve, we will watch the movie The Nativity. And that is a way for us to remember the Christmas story and what Christ has done for us.
Yeah, I don't know if it's one thing for us, like any one thing. I think of that Deuteronomy 6 where it talks about parents teaching their kids to bring the, you know, when you sit down, when you rise up, when you walk along the way, that it's sort of like in the mundane stuff of life of trying to bring the Lord into just regular things. And so, you know, it may be having Christmas music on or saying prayers, a prayer before meals, or, you know, we will usually say what we're thankful for or whatever, bringing that into meals and certain things like that, or just being together. I mean, I think one of those things for us help us. Whereas on other days, we may just eat and everybody goes their own way or everybody eats by themselves. You know, this is like time to be together, play games together, spend time together, and that sort of keeps us focused.
I know with the kids growing up and everything, what we did to keep Christ the center of it is, you know, we read the Christmas story before we did anything on Christmas Day. But even before that, and as we would explain what Christmas was all about, and the birth of Jesus and everything, we also included the true story of St. Nicholas, and then also added all of his names, you know, St. Nick, Santa Claus, and all that. But we shared that with them so that they would know both stories, could believe in both that way. And it was kind of a control mechanism, yes, but in another way, it was also, we told them that at Christmas they would get 3 gifts because Jesus got 3 gifts at the manger. I mean, we meant it as a teaching moment, but we also used it as, okay, just don't say I want this, and this. And so they knew they were going to get 3 gifts.
Was one of the gifts frankincense?
Frankenstein.
Yeah. But wait, there's myrrh.
For me, we every year whenever we'd set out and like, you know, start getting out the Christmas stuff, all of the decorations, everything, one of the things that we would do is we had the manger scene and we'd be going through that. And I remember there being like a joke at some point. I don't remember how old I was, but when I came to the understanding that the wise men weren't actually there when he was an infant, I was like, I feel like we should hide them. Like, I feel like we should like have like a scavenger hunt where we like hide them around. But I just remember every time we set up the manger scene, us having conversations about what this meant and what this meant for like the world. And so that was pretty cool. And then there was this other time too where I wish I could find it, but when I was in 4th grade, I remember being like given this book or list of things that had all of these different Christmas traditions, from like a Christmas tree to a candy cane to all of the gifts of Jesus. I remember taking like a bag full of stuff to my 4th grade class for like show and tell basically, and reading through this, like on an evergreen or pine tree or whatever, the needles point upwards to heaven, and the candy cane has red and white for the blood and like the water of Christ, and it's in the shape of a shepherd's cane, and like all of these different themes, I guess. And so I remember like just having these random things that would just pop up and be like a little memory. But kind of like what Darren was saying is like when I was thinking about this for myself, and you know, when Alec and I do have kids at some point, I want it to be an everyday. And not just we need Christmas to talk about Christ. I want it to be something that it's an everyday conversation where we're pointing to Christ constantly. But I do think like the good thing about Christmas is it does slow you down a little bit to have more like intentional conversation, which I just think is really cool.
Yeah, for us, it's just as simple as we always went to the Christmas Eve service at Cool Spring Baptist Church, which is down the street from my parents' house. And it's just a tradition that we do, but it helps us to refocus that we enjoy doing it. And it's a time for us to pause as a family and then reflect on what Christ has done for us. Bobby, any words for Northwoods Church as we come into the Christmas season?
I'll share a verse as we close.
Yeah.
In 2 Corinthians 8, in verse 9, it says this, "For you know the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ, that though he was rich, yet for our sake he became poor, so that you by his poverty would become rich." And I don't think that's about rich financially. He became poor so that we would have all we would ever need. And this Christmas season, I think that's really important for us to remember. He took our sin, became a person. He did all of that so that we would have grace and mercy and be able to have all spiritual blessings. This is a wonderful season for us to remember that we are blessed in so many ways.
Well, thanks everybody for joining us. What did we learn today?
A lot.
A lot. Yeah, we learned that Darren is the most spiritual of all of us.
Amen.
Glad
Amen.
you finally discovered it.
That took it away.
Thanks for tuning in to the Northwoods Church Matters podcast. If you'd like to find out more about Northwoods Church, you can visit us at our website, www.northwoodschurch.org. Again, that's www.northwoodschurch.org.